Good evening, everyone. Who's with us? Oh, Dr. Les with us.
Shalom, Rav. How are you?
Baruch Hashem. Who else with us? Oh, I see Brian and Glenda with us. I see Frank with us. Stephen Kabetsnik with us. Who else with us? Oh, Jeffrey with us. Lionel Pogo with us. No, Erev Tov, everyone. It's so nice to see you all. Dr. Les, give us the news. Bechavod.
Okay, thank you, Rav. Wow, so much is happening. So the latest news is there was a limited incursion by the IDF into Gaza, and they say that 3 of the Hamas officials were killed. But you know, Rav, something unbelievable. You know, the hostages are still there, and they're not just hostages. These are children. These are Holocaust survivors. These are grandmothers and grandfathers, and you think to yourself, where are the human rights organizations? Where are the people that care about children? It's just unbelievable. The latest news is that there was a dog of an Israeli in one of these settlements near the border that the Hamas actually killed. A dog. So where are the SPCAs all over the world? Why kill a dog? You know, it's so inhumane what's been done, and the world remains very silent in the human rights department. A very close colleague, and it was a neighbor and friend of ours, Ilana Engel. She works for the forensic dental. She does a voluntary for the Israeli police. And she's been, from day one, she's been working to try and identify through the dental records and through the dentistry by taking x-rays and examining the teeth who those people are, so they can get a burial and there can be closure for the families that have lost everything. So she posted a video, which I'm going to put on Facebook, and I'll send to you, Rav, it's heart-rending. And this is somebody who does a voluntary, somebody who's in our clinic, somebody who's a prosthodontist. She's a mother, and she does a voluntary, and you just see the most amazing people here in Israel. I just want to mention, I don't know if you've been seeing the head Guterres, the head of the UN, who made this unbelievably shocking and disgraceful comment that the Hamas, what they did, didn't occur in a vacuum. In other words, as the Israeli ambassador and the foreign minister said, like he's condoning what Hamas did. Later on, he kind of apologized, but it's too little too late. And what's really, really frightening is that we're seeing this tremendous anti-Semitism all over Europe. It's not a matter of borders or two-state solution. It's a matter of, does Israel have the right to exist? And it's not only does Israel have the right to exist, do the Jews have the right to exist? A restaurant in London, in Golders Green, and I was in Golders Green over Chonamed, a brick was thrown into the restaurant, purely anti-Semitic. And then Rabbi hear that they're going to be having on Shabbat this rally, this pro-Palestinian rally through Joburg. So I just want to mention again, Rav, that we are in awe of the Jewish community in South Africa. We support you, and we are so proud of our brethren in South Africa, the Jews, who standing up to this vicious anti-Israel coming from the ANC and the EFF and all the haters of Israel. So kol hakavod to our community there, stand strong, and just know how much it's appreciated by all of us. And I just hope on Shabbat you all will be safe. And I mean,
Sure, Dr. Les. I think that you mute yourself in the last minute. You mute yourself, just unmute yourself. But thank you very much. Okay, רבותיי, we're going to start the show. בעזרת השם, נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. First of all, welcome to our friend Louis. Louis, thank you for joining us. Shkoa. I would like to dedicate the show in a soul of Esther Kaden Bat Ketzia, Mordechai ben Rahma, Rav Abraham Chaim ben Eliezer Yaakov, Tamar Bat Zeava, Yaakov Salomon ben Farha, Dvora Ruth Bat Beila, Malka Regina Bajoya, Kechi Gurgia Bat Farha, and also Leilui Nishmat Shosha Bluma. לעילוי נשמת שושה בלומה בת מרדכי בצלאל. Please God that the shiur will lift up their soul in heaven. Also, I would like to dedicate the shiur in the health of Menashe Naji ben Fahal, Liora bat Miriam, Arav Moshe ben Bahia, Batia, Arav Moshe ben Devorah, Arav Abraham ben Marina, Arav Shlomo Yehuda ben Dalia, Dvorah bat Esther, Orn Bluma bat Miriam, Sheina Keila bat Hana, Mordechai David ben Leah, Chaim Nahum ben Pesa Reza, Ahuva Kaden bat Tali Esther, Baruch ben Sarah Hiena, Tzvi ben Hava, Shmuel Meir ben Shosha Blima, Yehuda Hillel ben Shulamit Leah, Moshe Avram ben Henariva, Haya Tzipora bat Rachel, Ayala Eden bat Rivka, Tova Liba bat Rachel, Yoshua Hayim ben Haya Leah, Hana Masha Rivka bat Zelda, Leah bat Rachel, בכל פצועי וחולי עמו בית ישראל, בכל מקום שהם, and also to the hostages that may HaKadosh Baruch Hu release them healthy, please God, with no nega upega, amen כן יהי רצון. פרשת לך לך, we're going to start. Jeffrey, please unmute your microphone. Don't forget to unmute your microphone.
Let me record.
בכבוד. Jeffrey, don't forget to unmute your microphone. אוקיי, פרשת לך לך. ויאמר אדוני אל אברהם, לך לך מארצך וממולדתך ומבית אביך אל הארץ אשר אראך.
Okay. Sorry, Rob. I've just got my chumash here. All good. I'll be a second.
Another 1 second. It's nishgafe lach.
Okay. Here we go. Right. Sorry. 1 second. Here we go. Right. Hashem said to Abram, go for yourself from your land, from your relatives, and from your father's house, to the land that I will show you.
Okay. In previous year, we spoke about that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell to Abraham Avinu to go. He doesn't tell him where to go. He just tell him to go. And that was one of the difficult tests that Abraham Avinu have to have. And there is many of the Mefarshim that ask, how come that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he said to Abraham Avinu to go, he doesn't tell him where, okay? So let's understand first, what does it mean, Lech Lecha? Rabbi Yaakov Baal HaTurim, that born 755 years ago, in his commentary on the Torah, he said that here the Torah hinting to us few ideas. Rabotai, as I mentioned, we're doing Pshat, Remez, Drash, Sod. So, Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll start with the Remez. What's hinting here? Said the Rabbi Yaakov Baal HaTurim something very extraordinary. He said that the word Lech Lecha, if you take the gematria of Lech, Lamed Cha, 50, said the Rabbi Yaakov Baal HaTurim, you take the word Lech Lecha twice, 50 and 50, it's 100. Say Rabbi Yaakov Baal HaTurim, you know what the remez here? What is the hinting that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tried to tell Abraham Avinu?
Yeah.
Number one, that in the age of 100, you're going to have a son, Abraham Avinu, that from him going to start all your dynasty and all the Jewish dynasty. Number two, it's come to tell you, Abraham Avinu, that you now in the age of 75. That means that you're going to live another 100 years. That means the Torah hinting to us that Avraham Avinu,
I think it's good.
number one, going to live for 175 years. Okay. Number two, the Torah telling us that Avraham Avinu going to have a son that his name is Yitzhak in the age of 100. That's according to the Remez. But let's understand what Hazal else trying to tell us. And I would like to do what we usually do. It's the Zera Shimshon. What's the Zera Shimshon try to tell us? And if you look carefully, And I would like Jeffrey just turn a page, one page back, okay? And the last parsha, and the last parsha ending up very interesting. Look how's it ending up.
Yeah.
ויהיו ימי תרח 5 שנים ו200 שנה, וימות תרח בחרן.
The days of Terach were 205 years, and Terach died in Haran.
Okay. We see that the death of Terach mentioned before Abraham Avinu left Haran. Abraham Avinu was in the age of 75 when he left Haran. The Mefarshim say that Terach, whenever Abraham Avinu, he was in the age of 70. That means that when Abraham Avinu left Haran, Terach was in the age of 145. Come the Zera Shimshon, Rabbi Shimshon Haim Nachmani. He born in the city of Modena in the north of Italy, and he asked a very valid question. How come that the death of Avraham, or that the death of Terach, the father of Avraham Avinu, mentioned before? And then it's mentioned that Avraham Avinu left Haran. Well, there is 60 years gap between that, because Terach left for another 60 years after Avraham Avinu left Haran. How come that the Torah mentioned that? Very valid question, Rabotai. So if we look at the pshat of the dvarim that the Torah teaches and Hazal and the Gemara tell us, that in the Torah we don't have what we call earlier or later. That's on the pshat of the dvarim. But here we see that there is also drash. Say the Zera Shimshon, let me explain to you. There is a mitzvah that called kabed et avicha ve'et imecha, to honor your parents. Avraham Avinu, although that he never received the Torah yet, the children of Israel never received the Torah, but Hazal tell us in the Gemara that the Avot HaKadoshim, that means the forefathers, kept all the Torah. They kept all the Torah. And in that case, if they kept all the Torah, Avraham Avinu have to respect his and to honor his father, his parent. So Hazal said, the Zera Shimshon, Hazal telling us that Avraham Avinu was worried to leave. That's, by the way, Hazal in a Midrash Rabbah telling us that Avraham Avinu was worried to leave Haran. Why? While his father was alive. Has v'shalom, that he might not gonna honor him properly. So say the Zera Shimshon, HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Avraham Avinu, and he told him, listen, if you're not going to respect your father, there's no problem with that. Why? Because two things. Number one, I'm not gonna, I forgive you for that. If you don't gonna respect, it's not considered as a sin if you're not gonna respect your father. The Zera Shimshon bring another idea. He says, you know what's happened? I'll tell you what's happened. If the father has v'shalom is an idol worshipper, the son not obligated to respect him. So in this case, come HaKadosh Baruch Hu and said to Avraham Avinu, you don't have to worry, you can leave Haran. And I will write in my Torah that your father died, okay, earlier, and then you left. And you don't have to respect him. Come the Zera Shimshon and immediately ask a valid question. But listen, the fact is, and people saw that Abraham left 60 years before his father died. So how can you say in the Torah that Mr. Terach died and then Abraham Avinu left Haran? Rabotai, listen to that answer. And that answer can teach us a lot of things in life. Say the Zera Shimshon, and he bring the Gemara in Masechet Brachot in page 18, folio 2. Chazal in the Gemara in Masechet Brachot in page 18, folio 2, teach us a very valid principle. And they say, Rasha'im, a wicked people, behayehem nikraim mitim. That means wicked people, while they're alive, they're considered as a dead people. Why? Because spiritually they're dead. They're not alive. Therefore, the Torah mentioned Terach that he died before. And only later, Abraham Avinu left. That means that Terach died first, and then Abraham Avinu left. Another interpretation that the Zerah Shimshon brings. And now he's going according to the sword, he's speaking in depths. And he brings the Zohar HaKadosh in Parashat Vayikra, in Sefer Vayikra, in Parashat Naso, in page 135, folio 2. And there he says something very interesting. He said, Ela, kol man denachit mimadregata kadma, de'ave bekari be'mita. That's in Aramaic, and I will translate. Every person that was in a higher level, that people used to respect him, used to honor him, and used to look up into him, okay? And suddenly, he lost that privilege, lost this yichus that he had. People don't look at him anymore with that kind of yichus. They don't give him the honor. Listen to that. What the Zohar says, consider as a dead person. Come, the Zerah Shimshon, and say, in that case, that's why, you know why the Torah mentioned that Terach died 60 years before, 60 years before he really died? I'll tell you. Terach was an idol worshipper. And we know the story that he left Abraham to look after his business, and Abraham brought all the tzelem. That means all the tzlamim, that means all the statues that he had, he broke them all. When Terach came, he said to Abraham Avinu, what's happened? He said, you see this fat one? He beat everyone. He said, but they can't move. Abraham Avinu said to him, listen what you're saying. Listen to what you're saying. You're saying that they can't move, and you believe that they God, they're going to look after you. Anyway, Terach reported Abraham Avinu to Nimrod, and they thrown Abraham Avinu to the furnace. When Abraham Avinu came out of the furnace and nothing happened to him, everyone said to Nimrod, you see, you actually fool us. You sold us statues. You used to sell us all of those Bubamaises, and you actually just made money of us. But all the God that you sell to us, they're actually waste of time. Look at Abraham Avinu. His God saved them from the furnace. How come your God didn't save you? And Chazal said that the people, therefore, in reality, he maybe never died. But the honor and the respect and the yichus that he used to have, he lost it all. Said Rabbi Shimshon Nachmani, the Zerah Shimshon, in that case, you learn something very important. You learn that Terach been dropped down from his level. He used to be a very respectable man. People used to honor him. People used to look after him. And suddenly, everyone didn't want to look at him. No one wanted him. Why? Because he lied to them. In that case, he's considered as a dead person. And that's why the Torah tells us in last Parsha that Terach died. And then Abraham Avinu left. And that can answer all the question. Number one, why the Torah mentioned that Terach died before Abraham Avinu left Haran? Why is the Torah tell us that Terach is a dead person? Because number one, as a wicked person, Chazal tell us in the Gemara in Masechet Brachot 18, folio 2, that wicked person, although that they're alive, maybe physically they're alive, but spiritually they're dead. And that's what happened to Terach. Answer number one. Question number two, answer number two, that they dropped him from his real yichus and he been dropped down. And he considered as a dead person. That's the two answer why it say here Lech Lecha. Okay, only after that it's mentioned that Terach died in the previous parsha. But in reality, Terach was alive, and we all know that he was alive for another 60 years. It's come to teach you that Terach considered as a dead person in the eyes of everyone. Why? Because his yichus has been taken from him, no one look at him, and that's the worst. And that's what the Torah comes to teach us. That when people don't fulfill the mitzvot properly, and they may be a yichus now, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bring them very quickly down. And we see what's happening in the world. Those that have yichus, HaKadosh Baruch Hu soon going to take all the yichus from them. You don't have to worry. And especially brought that vote to give us chizuk, to see what's happening in this country, what's happening in the world, with all the anti-Semitism. HaKadosh Baruch Hu have a plan, and the plan working beautifully. You'll see how I'm going to end up the show for us to understand what's happened before that war that started 2.5 weeks ago. Let's continue to verse 3. And in verse 3, we see something very interesting. In verse 3, the Torah started with the word like this. Ve'avarechecha mevarechecha umekalelcha aur. Okay? ונתברכו בך כל משפחות האדמה. בכבוד.
I will bless those who bless you, and him who curses you, I will curse, and all the families of the earth shall bless themselves by you.
Rabotai, if you look carefully at this verse, I saw a beautiful commentary on that verse from Rabbi Yehuda Elbaz. Rabbi Yehuda Elbaz, born in Morocco, he born around 252 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, plus minus. He born in the city of Chofra. He wrote a book that called Shvut Yehuda. Okay? And he asked a very valid question. And you look, when it's come to the blessing, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wrote in the Torah in plural. But when it's come to cursing, okay, he said to Abraham Avinu in singular. Say Rabbi Yehuda Elbaz, I do not understand why is it mentioned here that when it's blessing in plural, but when it's cursing in singular, how come? What's the shinoi? So he explained like this, and he says something amazing. He said, a person like Avraham Avinu, what was the character trait of Avraham Avinu? Avraham Avinu character trait was chesed, kindness. You love to help everyone. Chazal in the Gemara explained to us that Avraham Avinu had a tent, and those that used to wander from one place to another place always can come to Avraham Avinu's house, can eat, can drink, and can sleep. So Avraham Avinu was the pillow, okay, of kindness in the world. He said that not only HaKadosh Baruch Hu loved Avraham Avinu, every person almost loved Avraham Avinu. The majority of people will love people that are doing kindness. The majority of people love Avraham Avinu. You may be going to find one that, there's always difficult people. That may be one, if you're going to find them, that person maybe not going to like Avraham Avinu. Say Rabbi Yehuda Elbaz, a very important principle for us to understand. He said the Torah tells us when it's come to blessing, the Torah said those that going to bless Avraham Avinu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu going to bless them in plural. Why? Because everyone, almost every person, love people that are doing kindness. But when it's come to cursing, if you find one that have a terrible, it's come to teach you how important it is. say Rabbi Yehuda Elbaz. Learn from Abraham Avinu. Akadosh Baruch Hu hinting to Abraham Avinu. And a character trait that you have that called kindness, Hesed, okay? Olam Hesed Yibaneh, Hazal say. What it means that everyone gonna bless you. If you do hasadim, if you do kindness with every other human being, everyone will bless you. Nachon that you find one or two Michigan that love forever. What can you do? That's the world. But the majority only gonna bless you. And that's what Sir Rabbi Yehuda Elbaz come to teach us. Akadosh Baruch Hu telling Avraham Avinu, those that do Hesed, everyone gonna love them. You'll find one or two that maybe they have some sugar, that they have forever. But the majority gonna love. And that's the character trait that each one of us should adopt. That's the character trait of Hesed. And that's what the Torah hinting to us on that verse. Let's move. I'm going to jump now. I'm going to jump to verse 16. Jeffrey, verse 16. And here we're going to learn a very important remedy. If people want to become rich, the remedy is here. Okay? Look what it says. ולאברהם היטיב בעבורה, ויהי לו צאן ובקר, וחמורים ועבדים ושפחות, ואתונות וגמלים.
And he treated Abram well for her sake. And he acquired sheep, cattle, donkeys, slaves, and maidservants, female donkeys, and camels.
On a pshat of the Dvarim, Rabotai, we can learn that because Sarah was the wife of Abraham Avinu, okay, he got a lot of prosperity, okay? And that's on a pshat of the Dvarim. But what is the Pasuk try to teach us, Rabotai? That's what we have to understand and we have to focus on it. ולאברהם היטיב בעבורה. That in the merit of her, Abraham got the benefit. In simple English. What benefit? What's happening here? Rabotai, listen to that. Hazal Negemara in Masechet Baba Kama, Nun Tet Amud Aleph. That means 59, folio 1. Hazal says something that can teach us if we want prosperity, what is the remedy? How a person, okay, can be rich, okay? Hazal say, read that verse. ולאברהם היטיב בעבורה. Hazal say in the Gemara, in Masechet, again, I repeat, Baba Kama, Nun Tet Amud Aleph. That means 59, folio 1. הוקירו לנשייכו, כי הכי דתתעשרו. It's in Aramaic, I will translate it. The Torah, the Gemara tell us, Hazal in the Gemara in Talmud, in Masechet Baba Kama, 59, folio 1, Hazal say, if you're gonna cherish your wife, respect her, honor her, okay? This is a guarantee that Akadosh Baruch Hu will bring prosperity on you. Said the Mefarshim, here it says, LeAvraham hitiv ba'avura. Avraham becomes suddenly very wealthy, very rich. How can it be? Where is all of that wealth come from? Say Hazal, the prosperity come by that Avraham Avinu used to respect his wife Sarah. Avraham cherished his wife Sarah. Avraham used to buy her clothes, and that time they didn't buy clothes, but he used to buy her material, and he used to give her gold. How's that applicable to us today? If a husband buys wife clothes, shoes, jewelry, women love perfume, buy them perfume, whatever they want. Chazal tell us in the Gemara Masechet Baba Kama. Look, guys, I'm repeating it maybe 4 times. Baba Kama, Nun Tet Amud Aleph, 59:41. The remedy is there. That you look after your wife, you cherish her, is a guarantee that you're going to get paid for it. How are you going to get paid for it? With a lot of work. Besides the Shlom Bayit that everyone needs. Look how much the Torah tried to teach us. So besides the pshat of the dvarim, that Abraham become rich because of Sarah, on a pshat of the dvarim, Chazal come to teach us the remedy how to become rich. How you become rich? By that you cherish your wife. Where do we learn that? From Abraham Avinu, say Chazal in Masechet Baba Kama. Rabotai, this is the remedy. A person want to become rich, want to become wealthy, cherish your wife. I would like to continue, and now I'm going to skip because already we half an hour into the show. I'm going to skip to verse 13, chapter 13, chapter 13, verse 6. Yes. And here we're going to speak about a bit about argument that it's also applicable to what's happening not long ago in Eretz Israel, and we try to understand what it said. Look what it said. ויהירי בן רועה מקנה אברהם, ובן רועה מקנה לוט, והכנעני והפריזי אז יושב בארץ.
You say that was number 6?
Sorry. No. I read number 7, but it's, yes. I wanted to read both of them. ולא נשאה אותם הארץ לשבת יחדיו, כי היה רכושם רב, ולא יכלו לשבת יחדיו, and then obviously right. Verse 7.
Right.
Well, you know what, read verse 6 and then I do 7 and 8. I'll do it differently. First, right. Let's do verse 6. ולא נשאה הארץ אותם.
Okay, this was in reference with Lot and Abraham. And the land could not support them dwelling together, for the possessions were abundant, and they were unable to dwell together.
Okay, here we see that very simple, that the position that Abraham Avinu had and Lot, okay, that was his nephew, they cannot settle together in the same land. The land couldn't allow them to live together. And the question became, why does the Torah tell us something very interesting? Ki haya rechusham rab, that they have, the possession was plenty, a lot of possession. Say Hazal, that's the key word. Hazal say the key word for every argument, for every mahloket, for every dispute, for every faribel, okay? It's possession. Why? Say the Mefarshim like this. The Mefarshim say, when is usually people have an argument, fighting, faribel? When people have possession, number one, they both become arrogant. Usually people become arrogant. But he can't tell you that what is usually the fight about? It's about possession. Say Hazal something very interesting. Say Hazal, I'll tell you something. People usually fight about what? About money, possession. Possession, money. Unfortunately, because when there is no money, fortunately, when there is no money, there is no argument. There is nothing to fight. But if there is money, lo alenu, people just fight. Why? Because they're jealous. Jealousy, that he had more than me, I have less than him. All of that nonsense. And they don't understand it from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the Torah come to teach us here a very important principle, said the Mefarshim. The Mefarshim say that every fight, usually, what is it revolved around? Possession, money. how much you have to be careful when you have money. How much we have to be careful when we have money. And how much people have to be careful that that money not going to go over their head. Because if it's gone over their head, that's when the Torah starts, Hazal said. That's what Hazal tried to teach us in that verse. That people have to be very, very careful when they have a lot of possession. I would like now to go back to verse 7 and 8, what I read before. Let's explain it, and let's look what it said. It said, ויהי בן רועה מקנה אברהם, ובן רועה מקנה לוט, והכנעני והפריזי אז יושב בארץ. And then verse 8, ויאמר אברהם אל לוט, אל נא תהי מריבה ביני ובינך, ובין רועי ובין רועיך, כי אנשים אחים אנחנו.
And there was quarreling between the herdsman of Abram's livestock and the herdsman of Lot's livestock. And the Canaanite and the Perizzite were then dwelling in the land. So Abram said to Lot, please, let there be no strife between me and you, and between my herdsmen and your herdsmen, for we are kinsmen.
Rabotai, here there is a very important thing to teach us, message. Rabotai, Hazal tell us that the Parsha always fall and try to tell us what's happening in the world in this time. That means the Parsha that we read this Shabbos actually speaking about what's happening at the moment in the world. And let's try to understand. The Torah tells us that at the beginning, Vayihi Riv. Riv is an argument between the shepherd of Lot and the shepherd of Abraham. Okay? And then the Torah tells us out of nowhere that the Canaanite and the Perizzite are in the land, settling in the land. What does that have to do one with each other? I didn't prepare for it, but while I'm talking, while our friend Jeffrey was reading, something came to me. And then in verse 8, the Torah tells us, Vayomer Abraham el Lot. And Abraham said to Lot, look what he said, Al na tihi meriva benen. That means Riv is masculine. Meriva is a female, and a female, feminine. What's happening here? I saw a beautiful commentary of the Shalah Kadosh. Who was the Shalah Kadosh? Shalah Kadosh was Rabbi Yeshua Levy Horowitz. He born in the city of Prague in the Czech Republic. He born around 465 years ago, plus minus. And he says something very interesting. He said when the argument, he mentioned it on feminine. Why? Because the feminine doesn't produce, while the a masculine cannot produce. While the feminine can produce, it says in verse 8, he mentioned it meriva, in feminine. Said the Shalah Kadosh, look what the Torah teaches you. The Torah comes to teach you something very important. That if you have an argument, if you have a dispute, try immediately to stop it. Why? Because if that dispute, if that argument gets bigger and bigger, then you have a big problem. Why? Because that argument is like a feminine. It's going to produce. That argument going to get so big, that's going to be in the end a fight. And Rabotai, isn't that sound very familiar to what's happened just 2.5 weeks ago until 2.5 weeks ago in Eretz Israel? The reform, not the reform, the left, the right, the left. Who's right, who's wrong? When they interrogated those terrorists that they caught, they asked him, what made you decide to strike Dafka? Now, they said to those interrogators, they said to them, when we saw that you're not united, we wanted to split the nation to two. And we knew that then we're going to win. Rabotai, every place that there is an argument, there is a fight. If we're not going to stop it immediately, it's like a snowball. And if it's become a snowball, we don't know where it's going to reach and how big it's going to be. And what's going to happen after that, no one knows. Because when there is an argument, you should to immediately try to stop it. That's what the Torah tried to teach us. And that's what Avraham Avinu said to Lot. Al tihi meriva b'minenu. Let's don't make it a big fight. Let's close it now. There is an argument between us. You turn to the left, I'll turn to the right. You turn to the right, I'll turn to the left. As long as there is no argument between us. What does it come to teach us, Rabotai? I'm not speaking just on a level of political level. I'm speaking also at home. That if the husband and wife have an argument, immediately to stop it. Whoever's the more mature one, immediately stop it. And that's the message that we get here. That the Yetzer Hara always tried to cause as much more mahloket. That's his main idea. And we'll see that I'm going to end up with the shiur, and we will explain something very important to us to understand, and how is it applicable to us right now in Eretz Israel. All over the world, but especially in Eretz Israel. It's come to teach us how important is the peace and harmony and the unity. For Rebbe, it's the first thing that we should push aside. There is an argument, can happen, argument can happen. But immediately, the one side have to be the older one, to make the peace. If not, we don't know where it's going to end up. Why? Because it's a snowball. And that's what it said. At the beginning, it said that it was an argument between the shepherd of Lot to the shepherd of Avraham Avinu. What did Avraham Avinu say to Lot? Al tihi meriva b'nenu. Let's don't make it a snowball. That's mean and effeminate. That let's don't deliver it, and we don't know where it's going to end up. Rabotai, the message is very clear. We have to be careful, okay? When there is an argument, when there is a fight, we need to know when to stop it immediately, okay? And that's not allowing it to develop. I would like to go to chapter 14, verse 18. And that's also very applicable to us, what's happening at the moment in Eretz Israel. Chapter 14, verse 18, verse 18, chapter 14, verse 18. Okay, and there it says, Umalkitzedek melech shalem, hotzi lehem, vayain, vehu kohen le'el elyon. Bechavod, Jeffrey.
Sorry, of what number was that?
Verse 18, chapter 14.
Verse 18, chapter 14. Right. Right. Here we are. But Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. He was a priest of God, the Most High.
Okay. So first of all, let's explain who's Melchizedek. He's the priest of God, who he was. Chazal tell us in a Midrash Agadah that Melchizedek is the son of Noah. Which one of them? Because Noah had 3 sons. Hazal say Melchizedek was Shem, the son of Noah. Shem, that's where the Jewish nation come from. Rabotai, just for you to remember that when Yaakov Avinu left the house of his father, to which yeshiva he gone? To Yeshivat Shem Va'ever. He gone to learn Torah where? In a Bet Midrash of Shem Va'ever. So Hazal tell us Melchizedek was the son of Noah, that's Shem. Rashi HaKadosh says something extraordinary. When Avraham Avinu came from the war after he fought with the kings, with the 4 kings, when he come home, Melchizedek immediately took bread and wine and given to Avraham Avinu to eat. What is the Hidush here? Rabotai, what is the Hidush? The Hidush here said the Mefarshim like this, that when a person comes and he's tired from a journey, he's tired from a trip, tired from work, before you start speaking to him, first of all, give him something to eat, give him something to drink, let his soul rest. Why? When people drive, it's well known. In Eretz Israel, they have a big, they promote it a lot, that while you're driving, and in Israel, it's not a long journey, it's like in South Africa, that you should stop, eat a little bit and drink. It helps a lot. It brings the tension down. The neshama of a human being actually rested a bit, get her what she needs. That sometimes the neshama need a bit of physicality, and that's the water and the food. Here, the Torah tells us something very important. After Avraham Avinu finished the war with the 4 kings, because he gone to release Lot, Bezrat Hashem on Shabbat, I'm gonna speak about it. Why Dafka he rescued his life to save Lot. What's hiding behind it? The Hazal tell us something very extraordinary. Hazal say, please give someone food. Person come from a journey, okay? Person after a flight, after a hard day of work, give him something to eat, give him something to drink. Then you can talk to him, you can ask him, whatever you want. Why? Because the neshama settled down. And that's what Melchizedek done with who? With Avraham Avinu. The first thing that he done. Rabotai, I want to connect it to what's happening in Eretz Israel. Look what's happening now in Eretz Israel. My little boy joined a month ago to the army. And we all know that people say that they're missing food, they're missing chocolate, they're missing, the soldier doesn't have. And quite often I send on a group, my sister have a non-profitable organization in Eretz Israel. And I'll show you the videos, what she do for the soldiers. Rabota, it's come to teach us how important is it that those people that in difficult time we need to support. My son obviously can't join now to go to the south or to the north. So I know that he carry a rifle bigger than him. Okay. They send them to pick up for the soldier food. How important is it, Rabotai, that when people go to something that they're in stress or coming out back after a stress day, how important is it that they have something to eat? Where do we learn that? We learn that from that verse. Rabotai, I would like to say a story, to tell a story that happened with the Hafetz Haim. The Hafetz Haim had a student, Rabbi Israel Miladi, and he asked him to come to do with him Shabbos, Friday night. The Hafetz Haim agreed, but in one condition. I'll come to your house, I'll spend Friday night with you, but I'm going to do the Kiddush. I'm going to run the ceremony. The student said, Bechavod, you my Rebbe, what are you talking about? There's no question about it. When they finished shul, they walk home. As they walked through the house, the Hafetz Haim took the cup, fill it up with wine, immediately done the Kiddush, drank, immediately told them to do Netilat Yadayim, and asked the servant, please serve the meal. The student, the owner of the house, zip, didn't say a word. After they finished to eat, the Hafetz Chaim approached the servant and he said to her, look, I'm sorry to push you to serve the meal earlier. She said to him, Rabbi, I want to tell you something. Every Friday night, I'm a widow. I have little kids. My little kids do Kiddush by themselves and they eat by themselves on Friday night. And when I finish to work here, I go home, I do Kiddush and I eat by myself. This is the first time that I can do a Kiddush and eat with my kids. So after they finished to bench and everything, the Hafetz Chaim said to the owner, the angel not hungry. They can wait. We are hungry. The children of that widow are hungry. Do you understand the message? How important is it that we feed the soul, the neshama, and then we can sing. And that's what's happened. And I'm sure that the student understand the message. And that's what the Torah tried to tell us. That if you see people coming from a journey, you see people after a long, hard day of work, first thing give them food. After they settle and relax and they have to eat something and to drink, then you can talk to them. Then Melchizedek spoke to Abraham Avinu about the war, and Abraham Avinu explained to him, and etc. That's the message. The first thing that people after a journey, after a hard day of work, or whatever the case is, first eat something, drink something, let the neshama settle down. That means to balance the body with the soul. I would like to conclude the show. I would like to go to chapter 15, verse 13. And here we see something very interesting. Look what it says. ויאמר לאברהם, ידוע תדע, כי גר יהיה זרעך בארץ לא להם, ועבדום ועינו אותם 400 שנה.
Excuse me, as for you, you shall come to your ancestors in peace. You shall be buried in a good old age.
Jeffrey, I think that you read the wrong one. Chapter
Isn't that number 15?
15, number 14, number 13, sorry.
Number
15,
13, sorry, I read
number
15.
13.
I
My
read
mistake,
15.
my mistake.
Sorry?
Chapter 15,
Yes.
verse 13.
Very, very good. Okay. And he said to Abram, know with certainty that your offspring shall be aliens in a land not their own, and they will serve them, and they will oppress them 400 years.
Okay. On a pshat of the dvarim, Rabotai, we all know that the Brit Ben Abetarim, the covenant that Kadosh Baruch Hu had with Abraham Avinu, and here Kadosh Baruch Hu tell Abraham Avinu that the children of Israel are going to go to Egypt for 400 years. They're going to be strangers there. But if you look, it says Ger Yezaracha in singular. It should say Gerim Yiyu. Gerim is in plural, many. How can it be Ger? Ger is a single. One person going to be estranged in Egypt? We know that it doesn't work like that. We know that all of Bnei Israel. So it should say in the pasuk Gerim in plural. Why did it say Ger in singular? Rabotai, the Hidush that I'm going to say now, I think I mentioned it once before. If not, those of you that are going to hear, you'll see how it's applicable to what's happened before the war. And I'm going to bring the opinion of the Abarbanel, Rabbi Yitzhak Don Abarbanel. Rabbi Yitzhak Dona Barbanen, born in the city of Lisbon. Lisbon is in Portugal, the city of Lisbon. He born around, if I'm not mistaken, 585 years ago. Rabbi Yitzhak Dona Barbanen, he was the ministry of finance for King Alfonso and the Queen Isabella. And it was during the time after the Jewish being expelled from Spain, they moved to Portugal. Shortly after that, Queen Isabella, okay, that she's ballet, that means garbage, okay, zevel, in Hebrew it's garbage. She convinced her husband Alfonso to kick all the Jews from Portugal. And that was the Spanish Inquisition, if you remember. She asked, the King Alfonso loved Rabbi Yitzhak Dona Barbanel because he saw that he's decent. Every penny worked. And Rabbi Yitzhak Dona Barbanel said to him, wherever my nation going to go, I'm going with my nation. Although that he promised him that him and his family can stay in Portugal and they will have all the best life. Rabbi Yitzhak Dona Barbanel said to him, where my nation go, I go. Rabbi Yitzhak Dona Barbanel was a great scholar person. He wrote commentary on a Torah that's called Barbanel. And in his Torah, he asked that question, why does it say ger in singly? It doesn't say gerim yiyu and plural. He said that here the Torah coming to teach us a very important message. That from this verse we learn that you know why we still in exile? Because there is dividing between the Jewish people. You know when you become a ger? Because there is argument, there is faribel. But if you will be gerim, you in plural, then you're not gonna have any problem. What does it come to tell you? It say, you know why you're in exile? Because there's too much argument. There's too much dispute between you. But if you live in unity, in love together, and I always say that you don't have to agree with the other person's opinion. You have to respect. Then you wouldn't be in exile. Rabotai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us that word to unite us. We've been attacked. We've been slaughtered. They almost pushed us 50 years back. Today, we're winning the war, Baruch Hashem. Why? Because there is unity and love amongst the Jewish people. Now, that there is one or two Mishugaim. Those one we can let them go. They can go with those that need to go. But the majority of the Jewish people today in unity and love all over the world. There is no more left. There is no more right. No reform, no shma reform. Who cares about it? Look where we are today. I made a show a few weeks ago about the reform when it all was bubbling. And I explained that more important that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants from us is unity. This reform, not reform, who's right, who's not right. HaKadosh Baruch Hu not interested. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to live in unity. Look how Am Israel united today. They're opening their houses to those from the south. They're opening to the houses from those from the north. That's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants from us. Unity, love. Then the rest leave it to me, say HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How can it be that in one day, those Daesh, Hamas, whatever you want to call them, pushed us 50 years back in one day? Kadosh Baruch Hu saw immediately the unity, he turned everything upside down. Every day, today, we hear how the Jewish people kill the enemies. Why? Because we united. Akadosh Baruch Hu want to see his nation, his children, living in unity and peace. And Hazal tell us something very important. קשה תרבות רעה בביתו של אדם כמלחמת גוג ומגוג. I will translate what Hazal tell us in the Gemara. That if there is a tarbut ra'a is people going, doesn't following what HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the mitzvot of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There is an argument between kids in a house. It's considered like the war of Armageddon. When a father and the mother see that the kids doesn't get on together, it's worse than a war of Armageddon. And that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu tried to tell us. I want you to be united. When you're not united, look what's happened to you. Now that we're united, we're winning. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will see that unity, that there is at a moment in the heart of the Jewish people, how they take in families that they never met, people that they never saw in their life, bringing them to their house, looking after them. If it's from the north, from the south, the emotional support, the physical support, that we have one to each other. That's what's important. That's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants. And that's what Rabbi Yitzhak Dona Barbanel. He says something very important, that the main reason that we're still in exile, because we're not in unity. Because we're not one. But if we're going to be one unit, immediately HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to redeem us. And that's the message of Rabotai that I would like to convey. But Be'ezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will see the unity that there is among us. Look how we united here in South Africa, Baruch Hashem, against the ANC with their ideas, against the EFF with their nonsense. We united. We with Israel, with our brothers, with our kids, with our families. We united. And that's where we're going to win. And that's when HaKadosh Baruch Hu going to bring us up. That's the major key. If we want to get out of that exile, we have to be united. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu will look on us, will protect us, will protect our brothers, our sisters, our families, our kids all over the world, especially in Eretz Israel, because anti-Semitism is all over the world. But especially in Eretz Israel, we will protect our soldiers. He will protect our kids. He will release the hostages, please God, healthy. And he will protect all the Jewish people all over the world, and us here in South Africa. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that unity, Be'ezrat Hashem, that we have, and that solidarity that we have together, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will see it, and Be'ezrat Hashem will send us Mashiach Titkenu speedily in our day. Amen. Thank you, everyone, for joining the show. If there is any question to those of you, please unmute yourself. Bechavod. Any question? Those of you that will have question. Bechavod.
Well, I just want to thank you. Thank you so much, Bemit.
Thank you, Dr. Les. Thank you. Pleasure. You know, the Hazal tell us that the Parsha always speak about what's happening in the world in that time. And we can see how the Parsha fitted one to each other. And Rabotai, I didn't speak about the kidnapping. In the Parsha, it speak about that Gedala Omer. Gedala Omer, who was Gedala Omer? He just changed his name. His name was Nimrod. Hazal say, Rashi say. He come to kidnap who? Lot.
Lot.
Why did he kidnap Lot? Why did he go on Dafka to kidnap Lot? I mean, from all the people, they kidnapped Dafka Lot. What's the Hidush here? From all what they done, they come to slaughter, you done kidnapping? What's the Hidush? En Hadash Tahat HaShemesh. Say Shlomo HaMelech. En Hadash. En. Nothing is new. They wanted to bring us down on our knees. That's what Nimrod wanted to do. That's what the Hamas wanted to do to the world. Avraham Avinu gone and released the hostages. Who? Nimrod. Why is he released Nimrod? Why is he gone to war? Just a few months ago, they have an argument between him and his shepherd. We learn it. What's the Hidush? About I listen to that. Avraham Avinu had a nephew that called Lot. Lot was the image of Avraham Avinu. Nimrod say, Avraham Avinu embarrassed me. Avraham Avinu said that there is one God. Well, I claim that I'm a God. And I throw him to the furnace and nothing happened to him. Then everyone left me. No one looked at me anymore as a king. He gone to a different place and suddenly come to fight with who?
With Avraham.
Exactly. Why? And he come from nowhere. You know what was the distance? Louis, listen to that. He was a distant, Hazal say, 1,500 kilometers.
Sure.
He came to where? To Sodom v'Amorah.
Yeah.
Avraham Avinu gone after him. Why? Because he wanted to tell the world, you see that person? This is Avraham Avinu. The world wouldn't know. He said to Avraham Avinu, now I'm going to throw you to the fire. Nimrod said that to who? To Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu stood. Now we're going to say it to who? To Lot. Lot, that look exactly like Avraham, will say, no, don't throw me. He said, bow down to me. Lot will bow down. The world wouldn't know that Lot is not Avraham because they look the same. Avraham Avinu said it's going to be Hilul Hashem. No, I'm not going to allow. I'm going to fight and I'm going to bring that hostage. What? For the sake of heaven. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that's war that they're fighting now, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will protect them and guard them. Today was the Yotzad of Rachel Imenu. Rachel Imenu mevaka al banea. Our mother Rachel crying on our children, that her marriage will stand for all those soldiers in the north, especially in the south, for the Jewish people all over. And they're going to release those hostages, Be'ezrat Hashem. Everything that's written in the Parsha happening on the same time. Bechavod, those of you that have questions.
Rolf, all I have to say, your shiur is tops. I've been missing it for so long.
You know how much I missed you, Louis.
I know.
You have no idea. When you're not with us, we're missing you. But now we know how to connect, and Baruch Hashem, you can connect to us.
And that's what I wanted to say, that Lot, Avraham Avinu looked young all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Lot got upset about. He didn't look like an old man.
Yeah, that's a different interpretation.
Yeah.
Yes, that's also one of the ideas. Yeah. Well done. Well done. Any other question, Rabotai? Bechavod, those of you that have questions.
Of 3.5 kilograms of bread in order to
by the families, especially that the numbers of Palestinian families are large.
Any other question, Rabotai?
Hello.
Question. Yes, Bechavod.
Good evening, Rav. There's so much to take in on this, but it's something which we must all realize. We've come to the moment of history. We have come to a moment. This is our moment now. This is what it's built up to. We've gone through all the exiles, we've gone through all the pogroms, we've gone through all the terrible things that's happened over our life. This is enough. This is it. This is our moment where goodness will triumph over evil. This is happening now. And how are we doing it? They don't realize it. The fact that they attacked us now, they brought us together. They, unwittingly, they have cemented our history, our destination. They've done it. It didn't work the other way around. They attacked us because we were weak. No, we're never weak. We're never weak. But we weren't united. They caused it. They are the cause of us uniting. Because this is our history moment. This is where we are. I would just like to say that what I've learned from you, we had a share and you made it very clear. When Ahab ruled, I mean, everything was wrong. Here we have reform, we don't have reform, we have people far from Yiddishkeit. It doesn't matter. When people are united, you win your battles. He never lost one battle, not one battle. The biggest idol worshiper in the history, and the people followed him, but they were united. There were still good people in themselves. They were misguided. It wasn't wrong. Deep down, they weren't bad people, just misguided. And that's what we all are in this world. We are all misguided. We're all in different civilizations in different parts of the world. We are a result of where we live. We take on the midas and we take on the attributes of the people that we live with all over the world. We do that. But it doesn't matter. As long as we're united in thought and in heart and in mind and in spirit, we are going to succeed because Hashem wants us to succeed. Hashem, we're coming to the times now. This is our moment in history. And agree with the president, don't agree with the president, deal with it. Not important. Not important. He's got his job to do. Hashem knows what he's doing. Hashem knows what he's going to do. And I believe now that here we are, and South Africa is the biggest example in the world of unity amongst Jews. Do we ask someone when we meet them, is a Jew? Do we say, oh, which shul do you go to? Are you? We ask that because, for sake of getting to understand. But whether he's Reform and whether he's ultra-Orthodox and whatever he may be, we don't look it down on him. We may feel these people are misguided or not in the right way, but that's not our problem. Our problem is to have the unity. And this is what South Africa has. And we've got a great chief rabbi who knows how to cement things and how to keep people together. And it just so happens that so many South Africans have gone to Israel. And they've brought these midas with them. And they do influence people around. Dr. Liz is one of them. He's South African. He's got that midah about him that he reaches out. He reaches out to people, and that's so important. And that's what each one of us do. Reach out to the next man. You don't agree with him. I reach out to you. I respect you. I respect who you are. Don't agree with you, but I respect you. That's the basis of everything. If there is no respect, there's no unity. That we even now, the people that are not religious, or I don't even call religious because that's just a word, but not observant.
What you say, Jeffrey, is so true. It's so true. It's so true. And not many of you know what Dr. Les do. I would like more to encourage more people to go to Nahar Torah, and we'll send again the link again on a group to Nahar Torah. If you see the good work that's behind that man, what he's doing, loading up the Shiurei Torah that he's doing,
Rav, no,
interviewing,
Rav, it's nothing really.
Holocaust survivor, you have no idea what that man doing.
Oh, that's
What
not
you
true.
mentioned, it's a tip, honestly. But Dr. Les obviously don't want me to say anything. I'm going to stop here. But each one of us doing good things, each you just have to polish that diamond. And that's what we are. We need to polish ourselves. We need to live in unity. There is not one Jew, Hazal say in a Gemara, Israel meleim mitzvot karimon. The Jewish people, every Jewish people, אפילו רשעים שבישראל, מלאים מצוות כרימון. A wicked person amongst the Jewish people, full like the seed in a pomegranate. Rabotai, we don't understand how much a Jew is important. Akadosh Baruch Hu loves every Jew. We just have to respect each other. Once that we respect and live in peace and harmony, we'll see the Mashiach, please God, faster than we think. Any other question, Rabotai?
I just want to say one more thing, Rolf.
Bechavod, Louis, bechavod, yes, sure.
I've been in Eretz Yisrael now over a year, and I've just been seeing how this Chavashaft, we can call it, how we all growing to love one another, and that's what the goyim don't understand. The Arabs don't understand. The more they're trying to break us up and try and kill us, we're getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Please God, you'll see what will happen in the very near future.
Amen. We're waiting only for good news. And well done. Rabotai, I would like to, I see that there is no more question. I would like to thank all of you because I took quite a bit of your time. It's now almost an hour and 20 minutes, the show. But it was very interesting, very exciting Parsha we have. I just want to mention to everyone that on Shabbos, the show going to be at 10 to 5. Okay, 10 to 5, Shabbos at Yeshiva College again. But it's a different show. Obviously, it's in a Parsha, but not what we spoke today. We're going to speak about it more in depth. We're going to develop the show more in depth. We're going to bring, obviously, again, more of the Zera Shimshon. And I'm going to bring Rabbi Menachem Chernobyl, a Hidush that he said about Lech Lecha, why it was the first test from the 10 tests that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tested Avraham. בעשרה ניסיונות נסה אברהם אבינו. That's the Mishnah in Masechet Avot. That means 10 tests. HaKadosh Baruch Hu tested Avraham Avinu. But the first test that he asked him, Lech Lecha, start wondering. Why dafka that test of wondering, Lech Lecha? That's the question that Rabbi Menachem Chernobyl asked, and he given a beautiful answer. I see that, let me see who's in the show. None of you going to be on Shabbat. I'm going to answer it quickly, not to keep you hanging all Shabbos. Say Rabbi Menachem Chernobyl. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knew that Avraham Avinu going to open his house to be a chesed, a pillar of chesed, kindness. He said to himself, Avraham Avinu, I need to put you in a shoe of those people that are going to be wondering. Why? Because when you're going to bring them into your house, when you're going to host them, you know what they need. They need to eat, they need to drink, and they need a place to sleep. And after you're going to be a bit wondering until you reach to Eretz Israel and understand what they're feeling, you're going to fit into their shoes. Only then you're going to open your own house. And that was the first test that HaKadosh Baruch Hu done to him. You're going to wonder, because later on, you're going to be this one that's going to be the pillar of kindness in the world. And you will understand when people coming from a journey immediately to open the house, to give them food, to give them water, to give them a place to stay. That was the first test. That was the why that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tested Avraham Avinu with that thing. That he have to vote. The first test is going to be to wander all over the world. All over. From Haran.
Well, Rolf, that's what's happening right now. That is happening right now, Rolf.
That's exactly what the Jewish people doing to who? To the people in the south, the people to the north.
Sure.
Exactly. You see how it fit together?
There we are.
Because our nation is Avraham Avinu, the nation of kindness, the pillar of Hesed.
We all brothers. They have to understand we're all brothers.
That's it. Hitler, Yamach Shemo Bezichro, didn't care what kippah you're wearing. You don't wear a kippah. You have a beard. You don't have a beard. You a Jew?
Everyone.
That's it. And that's what we have to understand. Kindness, and unity. That's all what we need. And that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants.
I agree with you, Rolf. I agree 100%.
Okay, Rabotai, I hope that you enjoyed the shiur. I know that I took a long time today. I really apologize. I usually try to stick to 1 hour. But I hope that you enjoyed the shiur. I hope that it was interesting. And I hope that it's going to bring you a different way to look in Shabbat, the Parashat, to give you a different meaning to the Parashat and Shabbat. In the meantime, I would like to take the opportunity to wish all of you Shabbat Shalom. Rabotai, be alert, especially in South Africa, on the rally that our cousin trying to do. Please God, it's not going to work. Okay? HaKadosh Baruch Hu know what he's doing. But in the meantime, have a beautiful Shabbat. I hope that you enjoy the show. And most important, let's keep us united, keep us davening, and then we'll see the miracle. And wish all of you Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Good night.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.